Hey, good morning. It is Wednesday. It is January 20-something, 27th. Holy Christmas. Oh no, that was last month. Hope you're having a great week. Knowing that Valentine's Day is still coming up, I thought this morning we would continue the theme of interesting gifts for Valentine's Day. Do enjoy. Try not to cringe.
And one more thing on the subject of love. Valentine's Day was last week, and we commemorated that by issuing one of our very popular YouTube challenges. I asked our viewers to give their wife or girlfriend something she would hate as a gift, videotape her opening the gift, and upload it to YouTube with the title, "Hey Jimmy Kimmel, I gave my wife or girlfriend a terrible gift for Valentine's Day." We got some very creative submissions. We also got some very disturbing submissions. And I'll let you be the judge of which are which. Enjoy.
This is the box. I splurged.
You really got me something from Tiffany?
Hold on, hold the box up.
I think you just... Did you really?
Okay, Jimmy, I made a ring out of a kidney stone that I passed.
Stone.
That better not be my promise ring you stuck that on. Is it?
Maybe.
Honey.
You don't like your picture of Matt Damon?
No.
Thanks, Matt Damon. You ruined Valentine's Day.
Ew, gross.
She competes.
Okay.
Do the dishes. You're always doing dishes, and I thought you needed something for it.
You are...
Okay, I don't know about the rest of you, but only one word comes to mind in all of those videos, and that word is divorce. Because there is not one of those gifts that was even remotely comical. Anyway, I hope you all do better this Valentine's Day. I want to make sure that you learn from others' mistakes, so don't make those mistakes. Speaking of a gift, where's my friend Nancy Morgan? She's a gift to us all.
Nice segue. Hi, Rick. How you doing? Hi, everybody. Yes, that was disturbing. And I don't know what spouse would think that that was funny in appreciation for the love of their life. But anyway, hello and happy Wednesday. It's Trivia Wednesday. We're giving away an Amazon gift card today. But first, I wanted just to mention that we have on our world a new URLA, which is Uniform Residential Loan Application that the borrower completes, or we help the borrower really complete it for them. But it hasn't had a makeover in 20 years, and a lot's happened in 20 years. And so it's gone from 4 or 5 pages to about 9 pages, but it's got rid of some obsolete information, and it's a lot clearer for the borrower if they fill it out online. So that's big news for us. Woo! And so here is my trivia question. Ready? Someone's monitoring. In what year did the website Facebook launch? What year did Facebook launch? And I can't see the chat.
Nancy, you got a winner, Federico.
Yeah, I couldn't see who it was, but
Nancy, you have a winner. It's Federico.
Federico, awesome. The year is 2004, just a few years ago, really, if you think about it. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you for your referrals and giving me a shot. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Nancy. My goodness, what was life like without Facebook? Just 16 short years ago. I can tell you what life is like today without Facebook. I can tell you that every single day of my life. So if you're curious, just let me know and I'll give you the skinny. All right, so I have one quick announcement before we get into our main content this morning, and that is just an update on eviction moratoriums. I know at this point, so many of us are so sick and tired of hearing the ever-changing dates. And yet, for those of you who are working with landlords and or tenants, it's important that you have this information available to assist them. So the eviction moratorium for the state of Connecticut remains, at least at present, remains February 9th. However, once the Biden administration took office last week and the new director of the CDC was put in place, the new director of the CDC has now said that the federal eviction moratorium is extended through March 31st minimally. As I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I believe the Biden administration is looking to push that to September if they have their way with the eviction moratorium. However, right now the CDC is saying March the 31st. So what you end up having are two conflicting dates and frankly, two conflicting set of rules, which can get a little bit confusing, I understand. Recognize that they're going to go hand in hand. You're going to have a set of rules for when you can and cannot evict in Connecticut that then's going to get overlaid by the federal rules. And the rules are not the same. Right, so you've probably got 50 sets of state rules that are then kind of superseded by the federal rules, and yet there are opportunities if you are a landlord or if you have a landlord as a client. There are opportunities to evict in certain cases. You just have to kind of read through the rules. I'm going to pop in the chat an interesting site that I found that will give you the skinny on. Okay, so there it is. So there's a link in the chat that will give you the skinny on what the rules are in the state of Connecticut and what the rules are in the state of from the CDC federally. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out. Check that website and use that website as a tool for your landlords and your sellers. Again, you don't have to necessarily be the expert there, just be the resource, and you can push people to that website. It's ctlawhelp.org. For those of you who can't see the chat, ctlawhelp.org. And in there, you can just kind of search for eviction moratorium, and it will give you all of the details on when you can and cannot evict in Connecticut, and then what the CDC says on top of that, and how there are ways forward. So I hope that is helpful. All right, our main topic this morning we're going to dive right into, because the list is the longest list that I've presented to you. My lists are typically between 5 and 10. This one is 20 points long. So those of you who jot them down, I hope you've exercised your fingers and your wrists today, because we have a longer list, and hopefully Dan is ready to type and pop them in the chat for us, as he so often does. And so this is the title of this list to me is really 20 things that make you better. 20 things that make you better if you will consistently do them. Number 1, stop holding grudges. Stop holding grudges. They're a total waste of time and a total waste of happiness. So don't do it. If another agent did something to you 6 months ago in a transaction, get over it, right? If there's somebody in your family that you haven't spoken to for a while because of an X, Y, or a Z issue, it's time to get over it. It takes more energy to hold the grudge and retain the negativity than it does to just kind of let it go and be the bigger person, move on from it. Number 2, stop complaining. Stop complaining. There's a bold law that says complaining equals garbage magnet, right? Complaining equals garbage magnet. So when you complain, you're like a magnet for all the crap in the world around you. So stop complaining. But first of all, it doesn't do any good. It doesn't solve any issues. Second of all, the people you're complaining to, even if they give you an ear for a moment or two, they're not really interested in your complaints. There is nobody that you complain to that walks away from that thinking, wow, that was an engaging conversation I just had. That's not what occurs, right? They walk away just thinking, oh my goodness, how can I avoid that person in the hallway next time I see them? Because all they do is complain, right? There's way too much to be grateful for. So if you have a choice between complaining and being grateful, when you start to think about a complaint, flip it around and find something else to be grateful for and let the complaint fall away. Number 3, stop meaning what you don't say. Stop meaning what you don't say. Here's what that means. People can't read your minds. Say what you mean and just communicate. As a matter of fact, over communicate. But so many people walk around with what they mean in their head and never actually have the courage to speak it or communicate with it. And then they get upset when people don't know what they're talking about. Well, because you didn't communicate what you were talking about, right? And I see this one, let me think about how this can work with your clients. You know how things are supposed to go, right? You do this for a living. They're stepping into this for the first time, or maybe only the second time in their entire lives. If you don't help them understand what the process is, well, then there's no way they can know what the process is. So that's if you stop meaning what you don't say and just start communicating at a higher level, it will make you and everyone around you better. Number 4, stop making it all about you. Oh my goodness. I will tell you that in my conversations, almost daily, I run into the I am the center of the planet person. Here's what I want you to remember. The earth revolves around the sun, not you. That is scientifically proven. The earth revolves around the sun and not you, right? Just acknowledge that truth. Just know that that's real. Make sense? It's always about the person on the other end of the phone. It's always about the person on the other end of the Zoom call. It's always about the client. It's always about somebody else. And I will tell you that when you take a stand and make your world about others, it changes you forever. So stop making it all about you. Number 5, stop lying. Even the small ones. Stop lying. The truth will always come out. You can't avoid the truth. So you might as well just hit it head on, right up front. So stop lying. Nothing good ever came from that. And you know what? Lying is a negative energy. It is absolutely a negative energy. And so when you start spinning that and you start heading down that path, it takes a whole lot more energy to keep it going than to just acknowledge and speak to the truth. Number 6, stop blaming others. Wow, there is nothing more specific that points to victim behavior than blaming other people. There is a simple reality, and we've said this before, there is a simple reality in life. You get to take 110% credit for all the great things that happen in your world, and you get to take 110% responsibility for everything else that happens in your world, right? Because only you get to create you. It has nothing to do with the market. It has nothing to do with the other agent. It has nothing to do with the bad buyers or the bad sellers or it's all you. So stop blaming other people. Take full responsibility and then just make a change if you need to make a change, right? Here's a good mantra for you on that one. If it's to be, it's up to me. Ooh, baby. I like me that one. All right, number 7, stop doubting. Stop doubting. And that means self-doubt, like stop doubting yourself and stop doubting others. Instead, replace any kind of doubt with support and excitement and passion. Be self-supportive. Be outwardly supportive, right? Are you that person that when you're having a conversation says to the other person, wow, that sounds awesome. How can I help you get there? How can I help you achieve that? Are you lifting people up? Or are you creeping in with that sense of doubt? Really? You think you can accomplish that? Oh, man, that seems risky. Whew, man. What if you don't make it? What if you fail? What if you fail? Who cares? Failure is just a step towards success. If you think successful people don't fail more than you do, you haven't paid attention to successful people, right? So stop doubting both yourself and others around you. Number 8, stop interrupting. Stop interrupting. Interjecting your opinions when they're not asked for is another way of making it all about you. Right? Did you ever talk to somebody? Did you ever have somebody ask you a question about something your kids were doing, and you give them a story about what you answer their question about what your kids are doing? And then instead of saying, wow, that sounds awesome, and moving on, they have to tell you a better story about what their kids are doing. Like, it's not a competition. So stop interrupting the flow of positive interaction. Your opinions, when asked for, great. Your opinions, when not asked for, less interesting. And I'll tell you what, I'll turn this into a conversation with a buyer or a seller. If you're consulting a buyer or a seller and constantly popping in your opinions, you're not consulting any longer, right? Consultative selling is about listening, not about telling. Number 9, stop being selfish. Again, it's not about you. You get what you put into a relationship. So put more in than you expect out. Put more in than you expect out. Time, effort, energy, put more in than you expect out. Number 10, stop judging. Stop judging. Everybody's got stuff, even you. So if you don't want your stuff judged, don't judge other people's stuff, because you just don't know what's happening in everybody's world, right? There are 120 little Brady Bunch boxes on my screen in front of me. And each one of those 120 boxes, oh, now it went down to 118. 2 people got offended by what I just said. Right? Each one of those boxes has stuff going on. Let's just continue to be supportive of the people around us instead of judging, because people behave in a certain way based on their circumstances. And until we understand and know those circumstances, judgment is just a waste of time and energy, because it doesn't change anything. Number 11, stop gossiping. Stop gossiping. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Number 12, stop making promises you cannot keep. This is an important business conversation. Your business does so much better if you will under-promise and then over-deliver. And in our enthusiasm and excitement, oftentimes we over-promise and then under-deliver, right? So switch that around. When you're about to say, I will have that for you by 5 o'clock this afternoon, take a pause, give yourself an extra 24 hours. Instead, I'm going to promise Jeannie that I'll have that for her by tomorrow, no later than tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And when I get it done by 4:30 today, now she's just impressed, because I under-promised and then over-delivered. That's just a skill that you have to continue to practice to get better and better at, right? We naturally want to over-promise, but then because everything else creeps in, we sometimes find ourselves falling short on that. Number 13, stop being defensive. Stop being defensive. Just because someone has a different opinion or points out that you've made an error, it's not the end of the planet. Being wrong isn't the same as death. I know for some of us, it sometimes feels that way. And yet I can tell you, you can be wrong and still live to see another day, right? So stop being defensive. It's not about contentiousness. It's not about an argument. Always start by trying to see the other side of it and having it come back to you. Number 14, stop comparing. This is an interesting one. Stop comparing people to other people, right? There's a bold law that says Don't compare your insides to someone else's outsides, right? Don't compare how you feel to how you think people feel based on what you see. This one is a little bit different. Stop comparing people to other people. And again, I see this from the perspective of, if you have a seller client who is awesome, who you absolutely love, and then you use that person as an expectation for all your other seller clients, well, when you compare each of those seller clients, guess what? The other ones just aren't going to hold up to the one that was so perfect. So stop comparing them to each other. Everyone has their own strengths. Instead, what I would challenge you to do is search for the positive or the strength in every single person around you. If you've got 6 different sellers, each one of them brings something positive to the table. Seek to find that in each of them, and you build more powerful relationships. Instead of saying, gee, I wish that person were like that person, right? If wishes were rainbows or something like that. Number 15, stop expecting people to be perfect. Stop expecting people to be perfect. Perfection ultimately does not exist. So if we can all just accept that as a truth, that perfection is a myth, then stop expecting people to be perfect. Stop first with yourself. There's no reason to expect perfection from yourself. And then stop expecting the people around you to be perfect. People will make mistakes. Instead, be supportive and help them through those mistakes. Number 16, stop trying to be everything to everyone. Boy, does this speak to a whole lot of people that I'm looking at on my screen. And I love you all for it, because it's what makes you so good at what it is you do. However, I would challenge that you could be even better at what you do if you recognize that you cannot be all things to all people. Be genuine. Be the best version of you that you can be to as many people as you can be it to. However, don't be all things to all people. Don't even try, because it only sets you up for disappointment, right? Because all people aren't looking for the same thing. Number 17, stop cheating people just because you can get away with it. Right? If there's a way to kind of climb ahead or cut a corner, what if you chose, and you knew you could do it and get away with it? What if you chose just not to? Right? Be the bigger, better person on that. Always follow what you know is right in your heart, regardless of what the opportunity might be. Number 18, stop making mountains out of molehills. My goodness. Stop making mountains out of molehills. Most of you have heard me say it 1,000 times. There is no such thing as a real estate emergency. No such thing. There's also no such thing as a mortgage emergency for our mortgage friends, right? There's no such thing. No one is bleeding or dying. It's just a house, right? And if you take the pressure and the emotion off of those issues, it's easier to handle them objectively and quickly. When all the pressure is on it because, oh my goodness, it's the worst thing since the beginning of time, it's harder for you to solve that issue. So stop making mountains out of molehills. I would encourage this. Ask yourself the question, will this matter in a year? Will it matter in a week? I'm going to tell you, I personally ask myself the question, will this matter in an hour? Like an hour from now, will anyone care? Because oftentimes the answer is no, and it helps me through the next 60 minutes to recognize where I need to spend my time and effort. Number 19, stop being so damn dramatic. My goodness. There are people in our world who miss their calling. Like the Academy Awards are on the phone. Drama everywhere. Guys, I would encourage you, take steps to just reduce drama. All that drama in your transactions, in your relationships, it is so exhausting. You would have so much more time and energy to do all the things that you wanted to do and accomplish at a higher level if you cut out all the drama. If it were me, I would spend an entire week and every single day just make a little note of where drama creeps into your world, and then make a conscious effort to try and cut that out. Sometimes, just as a warning, sometimes it's a person. Sometimes you have to start taking steps to cut a person out of your everyday world because that's the source of the drama. The biggest concern is if that person happens to be you. Then you have some additional work to do, right? But don't forget to look in the mirror when you're searching out where the drama is coming from. So stop being so darn dramatic. It's like life it's just not as hard as you're making it. Simplify and cut out the drama. Number 20. This is a really good one for real estate agents. Number 20. Stop giving out so much advice and just listen. Stop giving out so much advice and just listen. What if you took a stand that said, from here on out, I am going to be a professional, aggressive listener. A professional, aggressive listener. You would sell more real estate if you decided to be a professional, aggressive listener who from time to time perhaps gave out some real estate advice. Instead of always focusing on riding in on the white horse with all of your knowledge, right? That's where the error in that, that's where the mistake comes in on that, is that people don't really care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And when you start by putting them first and aggressively listening to what their needs are and then helping them get what they want, boom. Now you're in like Flynn. Guys, there's the 20. I'm not giving you a bonus today because it was already 20. Do we really need 21? Here, I'll give you a bonus. It's the same bonus that I gave you last time, except this one says work hard and be nice. So there's your bonus. Work hard and be nice. Have an awesome day today. Put some of these into play. We'll see you later or tomorrow here at 9 o'clock. Bye.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.